easily. Oh, hello. Doubling up every other word. If I... Oh, is what causes... Still not picking up. I guess I'm just gonna have to yell. So, I could yell. Fine. I definitely always can. How do you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Cutting out. Sometimes it actually realizes. How about now? Pretty boosted. Auto adjust. Okay, fuck. All right, hopefully that's a little better. As you know, my voice is so bad that it's actually interpreted as background noise, so I gotta turn everything off when I stream. All right, how's that? That should be pretty decent. Okay. So we're going to discuss Philium. And for those who don't know, loud. All right, that works. So, if you don't know what's been happening with Phil, I'll give you a brief synopsis. So, Steve from Truth Seekers of Kino Casino crossover of fame has interviewed Darkside Phil, and he went hard. He went hard with hard evidence, ex-law enforcement officers, everything to try to pin Phil down. Try to get him to admit the truth about his scam artist ways. The Dark Emperor himself, the eternal scam artist, Phil. Now, I'm not going to shit all over Steve. Everybody wants to shit all over Steve. And I think he did probably the best job out of anybody at catching Phil on the spot in his multiple lies. But what Steve didn't understand is the whole reason people watch Phil is to watch him beg and scam. That is the entire allure of the Dark Emperor himself and his scam empire. PSP himself in his Let's Plays gets no viewers. He gets about 300. But there are thousands upon thousands of live viewers that are stream sniping Phil's streams and shitting all over him and wishing him death and wishing he'd be arrested and wishing... And that is part of the empire, and that is 90% of the viewer base. You have hundreds of detractors. Hundreds. Buttworm allegations. I don't even know what that's about. I mean, you're really going to listen to Milo as he gets fucked in the ass by a giant black man about how he's not gay anymore? I mean, come on. Anyway. He should take some ivermectin. That might help with Milo's issues. But we're not going into that right now. Now. You made me fucking lose my train of thought, you piece of shit. Alright. Phil has hundreds and hundreds of detractors. He's got an Asian woman that looks like Jade that talks about world events and Phil. You have a guy with a Vivi avatar who plays gunshots and says he wants to shoot Phil in the head. And that is his entire show. For hours. You have, of course, Tevin, a southern black man who goofs on Phil constantly and who Phil is the main contention of Phil's ire, the main focus of his ire. He made his wife Kat cry because she was in some bullshit steampunk outfit for Halloween, and then when she came back on stream years later, she was 400 pounds. You have all kinds of people. You have this law. So what we're going to go into now is, while Steve was on, he invited on a special detractor, a detractor with law enforcement. And this detractor is an ex-pay pig of Phil. His name is Broside Phil. And Broside Phil has been criminally investigating Phil for years. Trying to get all the dirt on Phil. Trying to expose his scamming ways. I mean, even a 5-year-old knows that Phil is scamming you. Maybe the people in wheelchairs who give their disability checks don't know Phil is scamming them. I don't think they care. I don't think Derek cared. I mean, he wants to masturbate to cam girls and get them to say his name, and he'll pay them to do it. And he'll pay Phil to say his name. Do you think he really cares if Phil really doesn't have $20,000 worth of pipe damage or $10,000 worth of appliance fixes that he needs in his house, or he got scammed by his tax attorney and he didn't pay income tax for 3 years on $150,000 to $200,000 a year, and now he's got to come up with all the money? Of course Phil knows it. Of course we know it's a scam. It's obvious even to Derek. He just doesn't care. He just wants Phil to say his name. Where is Brian? Brian is in the cosmos, in the Brian zone that is separated from our reality. I'm not really sure what he's been up to lately, but I'm sure he's having fun wherever he is. Now, Phil has special powers, as you could see in this GIF. It's goofed on very often. Never look into his eyes. because Broside Phil decided to look into the cameras, and these eyes were staring back at him, and he froze up. He froze up and was completely pignosified by Phil, and he couldn't really perform on the air with Steve from Truth Seekers. He froze up. He kind of killed the whole segment. But he has redeemed himself, and I wanted just to react to it live. I saw it, I saw an announcement on Twitter, and then I got a little notification on YouTube that this video had been out for like an hour, and I said, you know what? I'm just going to watch it on stream. I started watching it. I got like 5 minutes in. I was like, I'm just going to watch this on stream. Everybody's been saying, why don't you stream? Why don't you stream? So why not do it and react to this live on a stream? And we'll get a little slice of Phil. I don't believe he has reacted to this yet. Maybe we'll make predictions on what Phil is going to say or do, or the level of pignosis that he's going to kick it up to try convince the audience to give him money. I don't know. Say my name, Daddy Moo Woo from VHS Archives. Thank you, VHS Archives. All right, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. Of course, this woman is named Lee. The investigator was named Leanne. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. Up. So we're just going to go into it together. It's only 24 minutes long. I wanted to watch this. I was very excited when I saw this dropped. So what this video is, I'll give you some background before we start. So Phil had laid down the gauntlet. This Broside Phil guy had claimed that Phil lied about contacting the police about death threats and a variety of other things. He claimed he contacted the police over his bankruptcy. Then he waylaid into making a call about death threats. The call to the police over his supposed hacked bank account and you know, all of that stuff in the bank leaks. I mean, everybody knows it's not real. Phil just probably opened a new bank account. But this guy said he spoke to the officer, and then Phil brought up another officer. She was female. He would provide the name, but nobody could prove that she would remember him. No one would prove that, why she would just lie. This officer would just lie to the public and say she never talked to him because she wouldn't want anybody to know that she told Phil that she only accepts calls for human trafficking and not online harassment. So this guy decided to pull up the case number, get the name, as he's a part of ex-law enforcement, and see what she says. And this is the call. I'm very excited for this. I hope you are too.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Excellent. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing quite well. Ms. Whitney, thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. This is going to sound so crazy and so stupid, but it is
how crazy.
Stupid is it? It's internet drama. Stupid. Like that's how.
Oh,
like
okay.
This is crazy and stupid, but I'm fascinated by the dedication here. Fascinated.
Okay, so
there's no shortage of that.
Oh,
okay.
I know. So there's a couple of things I have that I want to make very much aware of. First and foremost is that this is not a huge deal or anything. There's a good chance you're not going to remember anything, and that's fine. I'm gonna, but for the sake of
like Jim, yes,
what I would consider kind of the integrity of quote unquote an investigation, I'm going to start with the least amount of material to see if you remember stuff. But
this guy sounds like Phil mixed. Well, not Phil. It sounds like Jim and Blackface Kermit had a baby together. This is what this guy sounds like.
Have like the FOIA request, like a police report that I can then send you on Facebook to like, if you're like, I think I remember that.
It
to,
does
like,
sound
jog your
sort of
memory,
fake and
including your
gay,
narrative
but we'll
affidavit.
see what happens.
Is that okay if I just kind of walk you through what I want to ask you about and just see if anything like garners a unique or independent memory?
Well, before we get into that though, are you like, you said you're working private sector. Is this like a thing you're working on,
Oh,
or?
no. So I part time I run a YouTube channel.
Yeah, I know.
That
He did
covers
kill him there.
that covers an individual. I'm not going to say the name yet because obviously it would compromise the conversation that we're having. That individual has questioned my integrity, saying that basically I'm a liar and things of that nature, and
I'm calling you to
it
one
actually
up,
had to do with Detective Chris Edwards.
I'm
who I've
calling
also
you to
spoken with
one
in
up some
reference to this.
fucking gaming
and-
streamer
and-
on
and-
YouTube.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy. He actually gave me like the absolute best
Brian
like
is free to
quote
call in
I could
anytime
ever
he wants.
have because of
Maybe
because
Brian
of
wants to give
what
a
he was
take.
what's being challenged or what was being said. He
Yeah.
gave me just the best bit. I'll tell you a little
Chris
bit about
is-
it.
He's good at that. He was one of my FTOs. that I
Oh,
rented.
okay.
So I've known Chris a long time, and yeah, he's a great guy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So can I just kind of
Yeah.
preface?
Go-
Okay, so
Go ahead. Yeah.
the case is 2021, January 15th. Okay. And because I can, and because I have it in front of me, and if you wouldn't mind, if you do, I completely understand. Do you remember your reporting officer ID?
10347.
Oh my gosh, I love you so much right now. Gosh. Okay. All right. So January 15th, I don't know how the call came in. I think it was phone. Actually, I should be able to know that because I have the call sheet. Ha ha ha. Hold on. Let me, like I said, I want to give you the least amount, but I still want to give you some. So let's see.
I am getting like distinct Vickers vibes, but that might just be from the age group.
Type was THRT2. Verbal. So it looks like it was verbal. So verbal threat report. I don't know how. Oh, and it came in. Yeah, it looks like it was a call. Yes, it's a call. Okay. So
Okay.
this call would have been
I
in
won't say
reference
fake and gay
to
until
an
I hear the
individual
whole thing.
saying that they had received very threatening emails, like emails to end their life.
Oh my God, that's
Is
everybody,
this ringing
dude.
a bell so far at all?
That's everybody.
BSP.
BSP, that's everybody.
No, because I'm trying to think. So January 15th, 2021, I was
Correct.
back in patrol, and I believe I was working probably the 3 p.m. to 3 a.m.
Mm-hmm.
shift.
Yeah, Spectre also has a
Um,
similar sound.
South End sector.
Okay. So
No, but the emails
very
to threaten
polished
life
in
doesn't narrow
announcery.
it down.
not a problem.
sadly.
Not a problem at all. I think the RP
Yeah,
is
she's
gonna
like, oh yeah, that's
gonna
every
ring,
call I
gonna,
get.
ring a bell. So I'm going to read a little bit of your narrative affidavit.
Threats through email.
And I'm
Okay.
gonna cut out the name of the individual, and I'm just gonna kind of remind you about what he said instead. Okay, so on 1/15/21 at approximately 17:31 hours, you were dispatched to threats report by phone. You made contact with the RP, who stated that he had received 3 emails from an unknown person that were threatening in nature. Subject explained that he is a crowd-funded paid gamer, and he games at least 8
gamer
hours
with
a
the
day
capital Y.
live streaming. Is any of this
Yeah.
ringing a bell?
Yeah, because I believe he was swatted later
Yes.
on after that.
Yes, he
okay.
was. You'll remember.
'Cause-
Great.
Yeah, because his place was covered in cameras on the outside, and we were like, "Wow, that's
This
we see
sounds
that and
right.
we think, grow up.
That sounds right.
But, yeah, I don't remember his name, but I remember because he was swatted sometime after that, and there was some drama.
So I'm going to
I'm
give
like, okay,
I'm going to give 6
Okay.
names. I'm not going to tell you which one is
Okay.
correct. One of the 6 names is his first name, okay? If you
Okay.
recognize it immediately, let me know. If not, that's fine.
Oh,
Okay?
we'll see. I'm bad with names, but
Okay.
okay.
Kevin, Roger, Philip, Stephen, Walter, William.
I feel like it was either Kevin or Steven.
Those are all very
Well,
common names.
It was Philip, actually. Philip Burnell.
Okay, well, there you go. Like I
Well,
said, I'm bad with names.
no problem.
I can remember events and faces, but not names too well.
I know that
Okay.
feeling very, very well.
Yeah, right?
Yep. So you've got the swatting thing right. That it was
Imagine if
Proton
this
Mail
guy
that
was
did it.
really Gahool's uncle.
Out
That
of
would be
curiosity,
incredible.
when you said so, when I said he was a gamer and stuff like that, you mentioned you remembered the cameras. Was there any other reason why, when I said he was a gamer, that garnered a memory to you?
Well, yeah, so he didn't want us at his place.
Uh
He
huh.
didn't want cops showing up there. He insisted by phone.
That
I
sounds
do
right.
remember him sending the emails to me now, so I
Mm-hmm.
could submit them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know he had contact. It must be with Chris because he talked about how much money he made playing 8 hours a day or whatever. And I was like, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember the figure off the top of my head, but I remember thinking I was in the wrong line of
I mean,
business.
this
Oh,
also
I know
sounds
that feeling.
right.
Yeah.
She got the name wrong, but
He was he did not want us physically there.
How very
And I'm like,
strange.
well, yeah, he did not. And I know that because I remember the condos that he lived in, it was like Cabio or something like that. It was some weird name.
Mm-hmm.
And the condos getting to the
that's
back one that
right.
he was at, it's like a dead end. There's like a
Uh-huh.
big fence and all this stuff. And I drove
Mm-hmm.
up to it because I'm like, well, if someone doesn't want me there and they're claiming to be a victim, I
That's
want to
also
see
right.
why.
It is on a dead end.
So I did drive back there and I saw a bunch of cameras posted up on the outside of the condo that he listed as his address. Um,
Okay.
I don't remember making contact with him, but yeah, it was because I'm trying to remember now because I mean that was one of the first ones I took of these gamers. It seems like that was the time that they started swatting each other
Mm-hmm.
and all of a sudden like all over the country.
Yeah, it was
And
Okay,
it was a
yes.
big problem.
This was during the
Yeah, and I
swatting
remember
spree
that was
of,
kind of one of the
I think,
well, that was the first time I
2016.
had something with a gamer involved, but I remember it coincided with a big uptick of the swatting, gamers swatting other gamers, and um, I don't remember how long after this contact the swatting took place, but
Well, it's actually quite funny. I know you said that you thought it was.
Hold on now. See, I see a lot of people saying this is fake, this is real, this is that. I mean, what would you expect a person to sound like when they agree to be interviewed over the phone? But I am going to put up a poll. We'll say faker. Put that poll up.
After this. It was actually in 2015 that Phil got swatted, but it's
oh,
probably another swatting or something that you remember. But yeah, you
it
you
probably is.
documented that he got swatted in 15 after he moved into Renton.
Oh,
But the
okay,
now
yeah,
that I've established that you have independent
Oh,
memory,
it's
that was the crux. That was one of the
2015.
main things I
okay.
wanted to
Jeez.
check because, like I said, my integrity is coming into effect. I didn't want to give you too much and have people say, "Oh, I
Yeah.
led you." You know what I mean?
Oh, got you. Yeah, I got you.
Cool. So this is the big part. This is going to be more of a direct thing.
I'm getting old.
During your
2015,
conversations, and I'm
10 years
assuming you
ago.
remember your conversations with him mostly.
A little, yeah.
Okay,
I
well this
mean,
would be pretty unique of a memory, I would think, but I'm not you. Whatever you remember, definitely don't tell me something you don't remember. I don't want that. So,
okay,
what he
okay.
is alleging, a couple of years after this event, he claims that he got his identity stolen and that his bank accounts were hacked. And so I'm going to paint this in, and so he got asked.
So according to Phil, let's elaborate a little here. According to Phil, his bank account was hacked and they stole money out of his bank account. Yet they stole $3,000 out of his bank account, but the bank refused to file any paperwork or a police report on the stolen money. Also, all of the charges and all of the bank statements were released at the exact same time he was hacked, but none of them are real and all the charges are fabricated, even though they're all of these charges are at places that are literally right around his house and coincide with dates where all of these things happened. So whoever created the bank account leaks is a mastermind of like the highest priority. This is like a super villain.
Asked, and he didn't make a police report about that. And he got asked, why wouldn't you make a police report about your bank account being hacked? Why would you make a police report about, not make a police report about people accessing your bank accounts?
Is Elaine really on TikTok?
Now, at the time when he answered this question, I thought he was talking about Detective Chris Edwards. So I asked him, and he says he definitely didn't say this. Mm-hmm. According to Phil, he says that he spoke with an officer, female in
officer,
reference to this. I can only assume that's you, who told him, who, when he was talking with you, mentioned to you that he was having trouble with PayPal, chargebacks. Like people would give him money and then they would charge back the PayPal transaction, and that it was a problem for him because he definitely saw that as a crime, not a civil matter, which it totally is, but he saw that as a crime. And he asked the female officer, is there anything that I can do about that? His statement is, and if you remember, that's fine. If you don't remember, that's fine. And if you remember you definitely didn't say it, that's fine too. He says that the female officer, I'm assuming you, stated, we don't have the manpower or the bandwidth or the unit to work those kind of cases. We only work, or in terms of cybercrime, we only work human trafficking. You should contact the FBI.
That's an exact quote.
Gosh. Well, for starter, I don't remember the PayPal conversation.
I'm not surprised.
I don't remember that conversation at all. Well, let's talk. I'm trying to think if that would even be something I would say, because I personally worked in the human trafficking online cases as both a UC and actually mostly as a UC.
You mean prior to this or after this?
Like prior and during.
Oh, like no.
Whenever, yeah.
You're making my day.
That's a plot.
I know.
That's definitely a plot twist.
In fact, our set team, they're I can't remember what it stands for now, but basically our narc detectives who were separate from the investigation division, they worked all those cases. And so whenever they had an operation, a sex sting or sex trafficking sting or whatever, I was actually one of the UCs either on the phone or typing. And way years prior to that, because I looked young enough, they used my pictures when we first started the online trafficking program in Renton.
Wow. So this is really taking a turn. So not only was this woman an active agent investigating human trafficking, but she was literally the jailbait that they would say was an underage girl. This is getting a little unbelievable. So she was literally the jailbait, and they'd use her picture to lure in pedophiles. Okay, now this is going off the rails for me a little bit, but it's getting very interesting. It's very interesting indeed.
With he's now I think Deputy Chief Rutledge.
Okay.
He was a detective in set, and he's the one who all on his own got that started. And we used my pictures, and I was the UC and all that. But we did, I mean, investigations would have been assigned any type of fraud or anything like that.
Yeah, so
they did investigate, because I worked in investigations. I mean, I was only property crime for a year before I moved on to sex crimes.
Mm-hmm. She's right. That is the deputy chief of police.
I worked a few fraud cases, but the banks did the majority of the work there, not us.
Okay. Well, let me see if I can't garner. Let me see if I can't garner a giggle out of you, okay? To kind of give you context of what this is all about. So Phil Burnell is very actually well known on YouTube, and you could even say notoriety / celebrity status. And the reason why he's so
I am very well known online. I'm getting all kinds of vibes out of this that are bizarre, man. This is quite the bizarre fucking phone call.
Well known is he is well known for begging. He goes on
Red
YouTube
Roberts.
by the moniker Dark Side Phil.
You'll know me
And his
soon
YouTube
too,
channel,
bitch.
They Call Me DSP. He is also accused of having a gross gotcha game addiction to WWE champions, spending somewhere to the tune of $100,000 to $200,000 on a mobile game, and
Wow.
illegally, 100% illegally, somebody
Oh.
socially engineered his bank account information. Like they were able to get onto Bank of America's call center and hear transactions come through. And
Dude, this has nothing to do with anything. Miss Police Officer Lady, did you know Phil is notorious online? Did you know Phil got his bank account hacked and they started playing a phone recording of all his transactions over 18 months? Did you know that, ma'am? This is crazy.
And they documented all of this, and he had like something like $40,000 in iTunes
Describing-
transactions.
Describing a crime to an officer, just describing a federal crime. Listen to her giggle.
Which would be how he's paying for the game, and like $20,000 in PayPal transactions, which is another way to pay for the game. Well, these were affectionately known
He's
as the
an
bank
addict,
leaks.
ma'am.
And when I was telling you about that interview where he said,
Well,
I
he's
don't,
consistent on this
I didn't
burger.
make the police report. Well, that was them saying, well, dude, if your bank information got leaked, why didn't you make a police report? Well, his response was because you said they don't work cases like that. They only work human trafficking. And I'm sorry, just based on how you're talking to me, I refuse to believe that. I just needed verification.
Don't lead.
Like I said.
Oh my God! Don't lead the witness. Don't lead the person that you're trying to get to confirm your story. For God's sakes, calm down, BSP. This is worse than I thought it was going to be.
Is stupid. It's dumb. It's dumber than dumb. But at the same time, like I said, I'm former law enforcement myself. I actually moved on to, you probably know the company. Don't mention it if you do, but when you were in investigations, I'm assuming that you guys downloaded cell phones. Yeah. You probably used one tool in particular. That's who picked me up.
Gotcha. Oh, good stuff. Yeah, that was Chris's specialty.
Well, let's go. That's awesome.
Yes.
I got picked up by them. And so when this guy came out and basically said, I don't believe you, you're a liar, you're this, you're that, when I talking about Chris Evans and stuff like that. Well, I live streamed myself, and I was mentioning this, and I had an individual reach out to me and say, actually, I know former officer, because I know you're no longer with Renton, because I called Renton first, and they said, I actually know her. She was actually friends with my oldest sister. That's actually how I got your Facebook information. I'm not a crazy stalker or anything like that, I promise.
Oh, no. I mean, I put my name.
This is getting creepier by the fucking minute. Dude, calm down. So you called the Renton Police Department, dropped a bunch of names, including the original investigator that you talked to, and you looked up this woman by talking people into giving you personal information that you got her Facebook and called her? I mean, it's so creepy that it's got to be true in my mind, because this is getting more and more convoluted in the way that he's acting and the glee that you can hear in his voice. Even though it sounds almost like a coached call, this is so fucking bizarre that I almost have to believe it's real. Because you can't make up certain little details,
The same, so I was like, I don't hide it or anything.
Okay. Well, like I said, I really appreciate your time. This has been so wonderful.
Yeah, because if he had the PayPal thing to begin with, you're right. That's a civil thing. But had he called and said, my bank account information is hacked, I'm out all this money, we absolutely, there's maybe small town places, but they would even hand it off to county. You know that.
Of course.
That gets investigated fully.
Exactly. It's so simple. It's a search warrant to an ISP, or it's a search warrant to the bank account saying, show me routing number, show me transaction time, show me IP address. It's a walk in the park. And we just don't investigate that because all we do is work human trafficking. My agency size was 50. How big is Renton's, what's Renton's authorized strength? Do you know?
Oh gosh, when I was there, I think the authorized strength was 128 to 132,
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah,
around
you guys
there.
are damn near 3 times the size
the
of my
hell is
department, and
happening in
I
this?
worked those crimes.
Yeah, there were detectives in property crimes that specifically did work fraud and
Doesn't sound like
bank
she
account
remembers
stuff.
anything.
So I don't remember the PayPal conversation, but I cannot imagine myself having worked the sex crime stuff saying that's the only online. I try to never tell people in any of the calls, like, nope, we only do this, we only do that. Like, sure, we'll look into it. Otherwise, I wouldn't have taken the damn report. And well, although that was the threats thing, but
Yeah,
still,
of
like,
course.
to know now.
Yeah,
But
absolutely,
yeah,
absolutely.
and I'm sure he's accurate. It was a female officer because I was the only female on my squad. It's 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 possible that when he had the PayPal conversation, if he called back another time, sometimes the North sector officers will take the phone reports for the South or vice versa if we're busy,
No,
and there were females working opposite. But I'm
he
sure it
had
was me.
documentation. He had documentation in
Okay.
his hands, and the only way he's getting
Okay.
documentation is if he one picked it up offline. It
Hmm.
looked like some semi-official, so maybe something was mailed to him or something like that. But yeah, he was.
Oh,
It doesn't sound like this woman remembers almost anything except Phil said he made a lot of money, which makes a lot of sense to me. I think Phil, when he would get on the phone with somebody, would be like, yes, I have a lot of money. I'm a very successful streamer. I'm very important. You have to do this for me? No, you can't come to my house or investigate or ask me any questions. See that. But it doesn't sound like she actually remembers the breadth of the conversation. I mean, ask her some questions about what was said, bro. He's so obsessed with talking about himself.
public disclosure stuff.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I've got the public disclosure stuff. He
Yeah.
probably has initial report stuff, or maybe like a business card or something like that. But
Yeah.
you definitely are the only female listed on
Okay.
here. It matches everything else. You absolutely crushed this. Thank you so much.
Well, you're welcome. You're
It like I
welcome.
said, it's really stupid, but it
Yeah.
meant a lot to me. Ms. Whitney. Oh, sorry. I think it's
Yeah.
Miss. Well, it's not. I don't want to give your new last name, but Ms. Whitney. I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
You have just been an angel.
Oh
Thank
my
you
God.
Okay.
so much. Did you have
I'm
any
kind of
questions for me or
disappointed. I thought
anything that
this
I
would be way better.
can answer for you or that you want to know about this whole shenanigans?
Oh gosh. No, I mean, I'm just glad I was able to remember.
Oh, me
I
too.
mean, for the most part. I mean, like I said, names, well, it's kind of a crapshoot, but certain incidents, things like that, I can remember places and what happened around them or in them. But yeah, that one was kind of unique in the sense that was my first time dealing with a gamer and making
Yeah,
being
unique.
able for that to be his sole income. And then, yeah, for some reason I thought the swatting thing came after, but we had
Oh, I wanted to
so many swatting things.
I wanted to get your reaction to something. So I actually
Yeah.
I was one of the there's basically like I said there's this guy and then there's kind of I don't say an army
don't
but there's a
know.
lot of
If
people who don't
he
like
was
him
calling
that make
about
content
the
him.
bank
They're called
problems,
detractors, right?
then the
And
swatting
I
would have
was one
happened
of
way
the if
before.
not I think one of the only people that has
Like
ever actually gotten to
4
talk
years
with him
before.
face to face.
Unless
like,
it was another
across an
swatting
interview,
that I'm not
right?
remembering.
Oh,
And
wow.
during that interview, he asked me what incentive would this let's say you get in contact with this officer, what incentive would she have to tell you the truth? And so I was kind of indignant about that, being
Oh
like, dude,
my
do you have
God, this
do you
guy.
understand what Brady Giglio is? Do you have, this is her career. It will end her if she was just to be flippant and be like, oh, I don't remember anything because, it'll get her in trouble if, you actually said, hey, we don't do those crimes, like to like just skirt the issue.
I'm not a doctor.
So then he goes on afterwards when I'm not talking, he goes on a little show of his own. And he basically said, of course, if this woman remembered and what she was doing was wrong, she would lie out of self-preservation. I would love to hear your opinion on that line of thinking.
Well, see, and that's somebody right there who's already got a compromised moral compass. I mean, he's up to
What is this
bad
call?
stuff in himself, so he thinks everyone else has the same degraded moral compass.
Oh, a pig would never lie about what they said during a phone call. That would never happen. Police officers are always totally honest. That would never happen. We have the utmost of integrity. I mean, sure, you would hope that would be the case. And, I get the whole fluff up, the whole puffing business of this. But for God's sakes, bro, we didn't need to have this conversation. You couldn't have asked her more questions about Phil or the call?
I'm not even, my commission for Washington State actually expired last weekend.
Hey,
so there's
there you
really
go.
no repercussions on me. I'm not even commissioned.
I mean, I
anymore.
understand honor. I
So
hope that all
it's
our
like,
officers have honor. You got to respect
there's-
your officers. But for
I
God's
can't see
sakes.
myself I mean, why not be honest about it? That's what separates. People always have this assumption when they're up to bad things that everyone else will do the same stuff. So they
Mhm.
have a hard time believing that cops are like, the majority out there are honest, and I'll remember the best I can. I might get some things wrong or not remember certain bits and pieces, but I'll do the best.
Well, yeah, and
But
I knew that
I'm
when
not going to sit there.
Well, you
yeah,
barely
when I said it
gave
was
us almost
Phil, you didn't say,
anything,
"Oh yeah,
but-
yeah, yeah, totally. That's who it
I
was."
mean,
It was
the reality is this phone call is probably about 90 to 180 seconds. So, I mean, really, what is there to talk about? But it was dangled out there. This was 24 minutes. I thought this was going to have like some real damning thing like, oh, yes, I do definitely remember Phil, and I never said anything like that.
was Phil.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Phil. Dude, you didn't
Yeah.
remember. Okay, that happens.
But I remember the incident. I don't remember the PayPal conversation, but it could have entirely happened. I was pretty thorough in documentation, so if it's in there, then it happened. That was my own thing.
Well,
whenever
you
I would
didn't
testify.
you didn't document it, and based on your
Oh.
your statement, the conversation about PayPal, and based on your statements of I worked in human trafficking, there's no way in hell I would tell somebody we only work human trafficking.
Yeah.
That's just my icing on
I
the
mean,
cake.
nobody
I'm gonna-
believed
I'm
it.
going to-
BSP, nobody believed it anyway. What is the point of this? I'm like, I'm a little perplexed at this point. I'm a little pissed off. I thought there would be more meat to this. What is the point of this, bro? Like, nobody believes that what Phil said. People might actually believe him more now that you recorded this retarded phone call. Don't you realize you're feeding Phil? Don't you realize you're feeding the anti-detract? I gotta own the detractors. You gotta give me $15,000 to eat this piece of cake. Don't you understand what you're doing with this? I mean, this is ridiculous. This is fucking retarded.
I am going to defer to what I always refer
Oh
to
my
as
God.
LEO best practice or common practice, which is what I think
Yeah.
you gave me over
Yeah.
this guy who's been caught in God knows how many lies in the past. I am
Yeah.
I'm going to trust you. I'm going to trust you.
Well, I appreciate it.
Well,
I mean, I can't see any repercussions for me either way.
Ah,
If he's like, "Oh, I
yeah,
recorded
well,
it. She
no, there
said
would be
this,"
no
and I'm like,
repercussions.
He
"That's
didn't
kind of
record
an
it.
outlandish thing for me." Of course he didn't. But I'm like,
He
would-
should have.
I was very cautious.
Phil, come
when
out
I
with
would
the
talk to
recording.
people to not give onlys or we don't do that, And there were times and calls I referred people to the FBI, but that
Mhm.
was if I was tired of talking to them and they were what we call a 220, kind of mental, and that was just for fun.
Okay.
You
Um,
you have no idea how much that like you just gave me icing on top of icing on top of icing on top of a cherry on the cake.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, you were a sweetheart. Thank
Yeah.
you. Thank
Yeah.
you so much. I don't want to take any more of your
Interesting.
Sunday. You gave me 23 minutes of your time. I am indebted to you. Thank you so much.
You bet. And I hope everything works out all right with the whole thing. And this Phil guy gets his comeuppance all on his own karma. And yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you again. Please feel free reach out
Why
to me on
would
Messenger.
you wish he gets his
Or
comeuppance?
whatever. If you have any questions or have any other concerns,
You don't
I'd
know
be
that.
happy
You
to
don't
talk
even
with
know
you
these
again.
people.
You're an absolute angel. Thank you
I
so
thought
much.
you didn't even know who it was.
You bet. Take care.
You too. Bye-bye.
Well,
now.
maybe she's
Bye.
just placating this fucking lunatic who's contacting her through Facebook. That could also be the case. I'm not really sure. That was something else. I think we'll play this while I take a nice piss. That's how I felt about that phone call. I have to take a piss now.
We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our military, they're important. love our veterans, they're important. And when they're out at war, you know why I appreciate them more, Thank you, Lord, when they keep us safe, You know they make America a better place. We love our cops, our law enforcement. We love our military.
Beautiful. Beautiful. So how did you feel? Let's do a little chat with the chat here. Chat, what did you think about this phone call? I'm mystified by what we just listened to. So basically, Phil was labeled at 220, and they thought he was a fucking lunatic, so they just blew him off. I can't blame them for that either. This is the real song. What are you talking about? We love our Mickey D's. Quarter pounder, extra cheese. So, what can we extrapolate from what we just heard here? She barely remembers Phil. She remembers she went to his house. It was a condo on a dead-end street in a gated community with cameras all over the front of the house, which makes perfect sense to me. That also means this opens up some interesting things, because let's say this is totally legit, which I'm not even, I mean, he has to realize it. This almost casts doubt on the story more, because I was almost more sold on Phil being completely full of shit and scamming about this phone call before he just confirmed that this phone call did in fact happen. You know, this is the problem with being obsessive, and you have to respect that this guy is willing to follow through and literally harass it. Well, let's not say harass the Renton Police Department. Let's say talk to multiple officers at the Renton Police Department until they gave him this woman's name, and then he stalked Facebook until he found her. I mean, that's a level of dedication that I would not have had. But she basically confirmed that she talked with Phil, and now Phil, I don't even, like, I thought that I could make interesting predictions and put it in the poll and stuff. 99% chance he's going to say, see, he confirmed exactly what I said, guys. I did talk to a female police officer. Of course she didn't say what I said, because, you know, she's never going to admit to that, but see, she confirmed she talked to me. So he just proved that I was right. And that's exactly what he's going to do. And it just makes him look like he's just going to be used against him. What the fuck were you thinking on this one? You could have just made an announcement that you talked to the police officer. I don't know. Like, what are the levels of pignosis that we're going to get from this? I'm curious. I almost feel like checking in on Phil here. Let's see. Check in on Phil. See where he's at. See if he
Get MP back.
see if there's anything.
And I gotta get the chat.
He looks real pissed off. All right, let me hold on. Let's pull up Phil. See if he responded to.
Dan.
Because I'm sure the detractors think this was like a major success and a major blow to Phil. Except it's really not, because the officer confirmed that she talked to him. So,
on. Going on, everyone? How you doing? Hope you're doing well. I'm just finishing set up, I should say. I gotta go get my extinguisher before we begin. But we're gonna jump almost directly into the network test tonight, because Remember, we have to jump. We have to start it right away. If we don't, there's a chance we might not get a
Let's see the
connection and actually
levels
get
of
onto the
Pignosis.
server. So I am trying to hurriedly get everything set up here. I'm going to do the leaderboard right now, and I got to get the chat open, and then we're going to try to play.
People
I'm
are
gonna try to do
reporting
magic build tonight
220 is
as opposed to
banned
the other
in the
night. I did
chat.
tank build,
So
but I want to try
okay.
magic and see how it's
So
going to work.
220 is banned in the chat, so he already has seen the video. So I don't think he could help himself from responding to this if 220 is banned in the chat like so quickly.
Work in this game. And I hope that you'll be along to chill with me tonight and see if we can get another win. We actually got the W last time, notably because I had a really good team. One of the people on my team apparently had an insanely good build from having played multiple times. I didn't have that, but if I do magic build tonight, I should have some items that should help a magic build.
I started following Phil.
And we'll see how it goes. Okay. Good stuff.
I had seen Phil's videos as early as probably 2009. Him drunkenly screaming while playing games with the webcam pointed either at himself or at the screen.
What do we have for dinner? We had
but
homemade.
I started. I distinctly remember the initial begging video of him saying he was fired from the helicopter factory, and during that time, it was early in the days of the. It was about a year or two into the Obama administration. We were dealing with the housing bubble. The economy was completely fucked. Everybody in my generation remembers it because we were all fucked. A lot of us had to move back home with our parents because there was no job to get to pay the rent, and you were fired from whatever job you had due to a layoff or whatever, or they no longer even existed. And I remember Phil going, I got fired from the helicopter factory at no fault of my own, and now I need to make money, and I'm popular online, and I really need you to support me, and I'm going to make this my full-time career. And supposedly he took out a bunch of credit cards and just was like, I'm going to be a professional fighting game player, and I'm going to be the greatest that ever lived, and maxed out a bunch of credit cards, and then he just became a bit of a phenomena at the time. Of course, detractors literally started at the same time because he said, click on the ads. Click on the ads of my videos because I really need that money. I really do. Prayer hands. Prayer hands. I really need that money. I really do. And that started the initial detractor movement. Of course, Phil had a lot of haters even before, as Phil was kind of reviled in a lot of the fighting game community because he talked a lot of shit and was a drunken idiot. He had his own site where he trolled people, and he would troll people on all the fighting game forums as well and would scream at people. Of course, he hates when people troll him, but Phil is was doing it all along. He was doing the exact same shit that people do to him, which is, the cosmic karma of the universe, I suppose.
Burritos with grilled chicken, salsa, queso, rice.
I don't know anything about CZR.
Some refried beans, and basically we made our own. Like we had our own tortillas, and we wrapped.
I know
them up
sometimes he used to be in my chat, but I haven't seen him in quite a while.
Pretty good. Okay. Get my water. So I'm trying to get.
They're
everything
all
set here, and then
spamming
we're gonna try to
220.
boot it up
That's the
and
new
start.
meme now.
I'm gonna get the camera working over here. So guys, please support the stream tonight. You know the deal when it comes to.
Are you just gonna ignore it, Phil? I hate you so much.
The streams and the like. I don't think I have to reiterate that tonight. Every contribution.
Oh, did you catch it? We got the Pignosis stare here.
The streams and the like. I don't think I have to reiterate that.
That pig. He doesn't need to reiterate that we need more money. Love it.
Tonight, every contribution counts. We have a goal of 150. We're currently at 16 out of 20 goals. We're getting there. We're almost there. We're almost to our goals, in which case we can do DSP tries at McDonald's, Shamrock Shake, and more. Probably that Angel Reese meal. Unless we look at the menu and we decide other things to pick out. We might look at the menu manually and pick out things. But Well, Reese meal is supposedly new, even though it's not. It's just a freaking quarter pounder with bacon, I think. So, all right. Excuse me. So, anyone have anything to ask or
The
anything
Dark
before we begin?
Emperor,
Any
man.
contributions to call out? There's nothing right
Unkillable.
now. So as soon as I fill this water,
Yo, they always think they've got him,
Wojo says he just beat
but he
Anamusha
always
from
comes
where I am.
back.
There's 1 hour or so left in the game, depending on if I do the Dark Realm. Okay, so night
The
stream to finish it sounds
overconfidence
good.
of the
Thank you for that
detractors.
information, Iwojo. That's exactly what I needed to know. That's perfect for me. Night stream should work then. Thank you, thank you.
A
Real
goal
Key
is
Michael, how you doing?
$150.
There's no way I'm eating a double quarter pounder. That's just insanely disgusting. Even if you're an athlete, you should not be eating a double quarter pounder. That's just ridiculous. Absolutely out of control, not required, not needed, right? I didn't get any emails yet. I didn't see any in my inbox. That doesn't mean I didn't get it. It probably means any emails that got sent to me hit the spam filter. Like, for example, Shia said he was going to make me a new emote of Jasper. I didn't see that either. So I get the feeling a bunch of stuff hit spam.
Ah, yes, Shia of KC Guntguard fame, Guntguard for the 600-pound lesbian and crackhead, is now the biggest DSP fan to ever live. I love how Phil is he's systematically harvesting all the pay pigs and fans of the Kino Casino, just stripping them away little by little. And he's profiting massively. I mean, this is a guy who made $15,000 in 3 weeks to eat a slice of free $100 cake that was specifically mailed to him with dry ice. And he wouldn't eat that cake unless he made 15 grand. And he did, boy, he did.
You know, which is, it's fine. It happens.
Shia.
All right. Auto adjust. Very good. We're good to go. I can't remember if this is better at the bottom.
Oh,
or the
he's
top.
drunk as
I'm leaving it
fuck.
at the bottom for tonight. Okay. The only thing, yeah, that's
Phil
right. 'cause
is
the
always
Sultan-
drunk.
Everything's at the top, isn't it?
Come on, Phil.
Well, let me think about that. Everything's at the top except there's abilities that you have that charge up, but they're at the center. That's right. I'm good. Bottom right is perfect because the center is your abilities, upper right is your rune count, and upper left is your health and bar. So we should be good. We should be good to go.
I love that he's
All right, I mean,
harvesting
we might be able
them.
to start it right now. It actually started a few minutes.
Ashton's in total control, by the way. PPP's in total control. He's a shadow troll. It's not Phil that's using him or anything.
It's early last time, so let's see if we could jump in. What's up, X Shooter? Here we go.
Phil could drink
we
Ralph
go.
under the
Will it
fucking
work?
under the table.
I've entered a
No
block
question.
scene. Oh no. I don't actually
Nothing. Phil?
remember. Magic. What the fuck am I supposed to be doing?
Playing
Why?
poorly.
Oh, that's interesting. I'm gonna run now. I wonder if that dragon will still be there, or if it disappears.
Oh, Phil's just playing stupid
No, it's
tonight.
still there. If we want to.
I'm not gonna get anything. Son of a bitch. I swear he already fought this guy like 3 times.
Okay.
But it is the beta. Maybe they don't have a lot of bosses.
Nah, we're fucked. You need 3 people for this boss. Now my ultimate didn't even work. No, like I'll be honest. This game is going to work when you have a team of established people that you're playing and you're communicating with, and that's the enjoyment of watching.
Thoughts
people
on
play.
True Seeker physiognomy. So he did explain what's wrong with his eye. He said he had 3 surgeries. He had a really horrible seizure, and he had 3 surgeries, and he has third nerve syndrome. You didn't know, now you'll know, that your 3rd, 4th, and 6th cranial nerve control eye movement, and his 3rd cranial nerve is either damaged or completely severed, and that's why he has no movement in that one eye. So it's kind of a sad story. But it was very specific, and yes, I can confirm it's those 3 nerves. That sounds about right. And that you could see his eye really doesn't move. It's kind of like paralyzed, and that would be pretty much consistent with that
play the game. Much like if you watch a team of people play Destiny or Apex Legends, or even a team of people playing team-based Fortnite or team-based Warzone, that's going to be the appeal of the game. People playing solo, unless you're playing solo with 2 NPCs that are computer controlled, so
Third Eye the Third.
there's not much you could really do because you can't even play.
That's
at your
a
own pace.
familiar
What happened
name.
there where
Who was
I was
Third
basically
Eye
getting
the
dragged
Third?
all around the map by this guy who just wanted to solo. That was really frustrating and not fun. I mean, I'm happy that I won, and I got some items that now we can use in the next run, but still, you know, you want to be able to play, and I didn't feel like I was really doing much.
I
King
would
Michael
not.
dinner was good. It was homemade burritos.
I would not
My
stream
wife
them.
made homemade burritos with all kinds of ingredients. They were delicious.
A lot of Steve hate.
Please, comrade, have a good night.
I thought Steve did a pretty good job. Phil was like on the ropes a little bit there. I think it's already been covered to death,
All
but
right.
I think he did quite a good job on his.
So,
it was well
let's
researched.
continue. We'll do another run. Let's do a second run.
Oh my
Here's what we'll
God,
do. Let's
Phil.
do a second run.
I
And see
hate
how
you
it
so
goes.
much.
If we
Can't
end
you
up,
give me
like,
anything?
Getting through it by like 9. Maybe I'll hang out with you guys for like.
Wait, we
you
got
know,
a
hangout
face
session for like
slap.
30
Let's
minutes because, as much as I'm enjoying the game, because I am, I want to spend time with.
He
Maybe
wants
not.
to
Maybe
spend
I'll
time with his wife. Phil is the only person I know who works from home who struggles to spend time with their wife.
Of the training area. So what does restage do? Look at this. You can consecutively dodge. Oh, 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 oh. That's cool.
He does
Does
need
anyone
to
know what
rise up
Restage
against his
does?
KC Masters because he has no idea. If you didn't watch last night, I called into the Hill Kino Casino. And I think that guy is very good. A lot of people believe that guy is Brian with a mild voice changer on. I think you're pretty much insane if you believe that, but I know you guys kind of are insane, so I'm not surprised by that. But we learned a lot of things about how that whole thing went down. I highly recommend that you watch his show because I think it's actually been pretty good. And it's the only guy that's willing to shit on the Kino Casino except Cog. And Cog, nobody watches Cog. You can't convince me that there are any viewers of Cog. I know VHS Archives, who was here earlier, said they watch Cog, but I just don't get it. Even as a cow, I mean, what is the appeal? He just drones on and on and on and watches random videos, thinks very highly of himself, and his whole situation is super disturbing. And I just don't understand any of it. You're much more insane than anyone in chat, Pershit. Well, that's kind of true. Glad to see you cover something other than your ex-lover, PPP. It's Brian with King of Pole voice changer. Mulan! Mulan, I think I'm gonna ruin your fucking life, you piece of shit! I'm gonna buy your house! It's not Bri. Bri is incredibly entertaining. He gets a lot of support in my chat. So. If you go into Daima expecting it to be dark and edgy, you're going to be disappointed. I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about.
I wonder.
I am insane, but I'm not criminally insane or morally insane. I'm just insane for
Got
even
two hands?
doing something like this.
Why wouldn't you want a two-hand, actually? You probably do want a two-hand, right? Maybe because you want faster strikes. You want to move in with faster strikes and be able to get out of there.
Is correct. So nothing is going to happen in this stream. I guess I'll wrap up unless I have anybody who wants to join me here. I don't. So. Dragon Ball Daima is good, actually. I've not seen it. I don't even know what that is. Hate Persip, hate Casino, hate A-Logs, love me, Brian. Well, Brian will be happy to hear that. You should do another Blood Sports with Shaggy. Are you working behind the scenes with RTU, Snakespick? No, I just talked to Rich very briefly on Twitter. That was all that was. It never really went anywhere. Where is the Squire? Squire is... I have no idea. The Squire's doing his own thing. What am I, his keeper? Super Saiyan 4 is canon. Praise Toriyama. Okay. A lot of weird stuff going on. Squire Cat update. Squire Cat very happy. Shaggy is taunting Surfer back to streaming by calling him Buffy. Okay. You should have Rich on the show. I might think about it. There will be a good Brian comment on this video. I'm sure there will be. I don't know what happened with Surfer. Has Surfer streamed or something? I haven't seen any evidence of Surfer doing any streams. Let's see. No. I know Gator has returned. And Gator is streaming to a whole 10 people. Which is a lot more than I usually see Gator stream to. I guess he recruited the entire Discord of Ranbot to watch him play Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Surfer deleted all his content? Did he really? Maybe Surfer's just done. He's not made any mention of that to me. Well, Brian is, you know, a detractor as well. But he might hate all of these other people more than DSP. So maybe he will be an ally. Frenemies. Hate calling. None of you guys are going to call in. Black ants are out in force. Alright. I think I'll wrap it. Wow, this was really a wet fart of a stream. I was so hoping that call would be good. See, this is what happens when, like, I wanted to, like, go through it live, because after I watch something, any desire for me to stream or talk about it just goes out the window. That can't be the stream. Well, what do you want me to do? I could take callers, but it's gonna be 20 minutes of fucking silence. But I'll do it. I'll take callers. How about that? I'll give you guys an opportunity to call in. Every time I do this, though, you guys never call in. Here. Gotta open it. Hold on. Let me take this. Why is it saying that? I might need to give it a second, because what it's giving me to invite people is not right. Yeah, what the fuck? Might take a minute. Come on, you piece of shit. I don't know why it's doing this. I gotta go through. Maybe this is something new now. Let's see. How do I get it to? It just keeps saying hidden. Copy, and then, but I'm not getting anything. When I try to copy it, I get nothing. There's nothing to paste for an invite. Phil is boring. Shit tasting lolcows. Elon was just pretending to be conservative to mid-grifter BPD puss. Wow. That's basically everybody. I'm pretty sure Nick Fuentes is the only person who's never fucked that bitch. Anyway. Oh, it's because streamer mode isn't open. Fucking streamer mode. Got it. Here you go, guys. Now's your chance to call in. Taking all topics. I'll go to the poll. Is the phone call real? 51% of the audience says it's fake. Oh, nope, that just changed. 50% of the audience says it's fake. 50% of the audience says it's real. So it's split right down the middle, which means nothing. Now is your opportunity to call in. I am waiting. None of you are going to call in. You just wasted my time. I suppose you guys like doing stuff like that. Somebody called Booty Slayer 9000 has joined. Booty Slayer 9000. Okay. What's that ringing a bell? Surfer privated his stream replays prior to calling into your previous stream. I have no idea. You wasted our time with Phil's content, Suffer. I know, I wasted my own damn time. You are right. Don't be nervous, just call in. Come on now. I'll open it up to any topic. Well, I'll go. I mean, I only wanted this to be about 90 minutes, so we're about at the point, but it's been about 15 to 20 minutes of dead air. I hate dead air. Especially when I'm doing it. Unfortunately, that's most of my streams. I've not improved much. The Tekken music, this Tekken soundtrack was so good. Unfortunately, I got to get a controller for my computer because I can't play it on my Steam Deck. It just hurts my hands too much. Maybe if I had giant hands, it would be better, but I unfortunately do not.
Cool.
You guys got about 4 minutes. I'm deleting this server, so if you're just joining it to join the server, don't even bother, because I deleted it as soon as we're done.
We are somewhere different right now. Right? Where did they go? Let's go this way. Let's fight the guys in here, and then we'll find a Queen of Grace. That makes 0 sense. I missed 10 times. I was in his body, and I was swinging through it. No hits connected. You know, my lower back injury was when I was in my 20s. I wasn't doing anything then either. So.
The mystery lower back injury has reared its ugly head. And it was supposedly miraculously cured by the Washington air, but it has returned. And there have been multiple stories about how this back injury took place. From carrying boxes, to just walking, to a car accident that he almost died in, to congenital birth defect in his spine. I'm not really sure Phil could even keep the amount of stories he's told straight about this back injury.
Oh. Let me take a quick look here. Anything new? Nope. Nope. No. I don't understand relics at all.
Godwinson
Like,
got
what
stabbed
is
by
this?
an Arab in
Some of them
London.
have a friggin' like chalice on them. I don't know what that means. You know?
Don't say stuff like that.
See, this makes no
The
sense.
way things are
Duchess,
going
even
over there,
enemies
it could
while
happen.
Art is active, up to your attack power. That's great. How the fuck do I equip this? Why can't I equip
People
this?
are
This makes
joining,
sense.
but
Like,
they're not joining
why
the
would
call,
there be a
which is
relic
what
for
usually
a
happens.
particular class that the
They
class
join
can't
because
equip?
they want to be in like every Discord server on the planet, and then I immediately
I
delete
don't
it. I
understand
don't
it
get the
at
point.
all. So, well, we have time for one more run, so I'm going to try to jump into it and see if we can make it happen. I don't know how well
What's
this
my
will go.
timestamp at?
Let's try one more.
We'll
Thank
go-
you to Gamer Stevie. who just became
Another
a
minute.
supporter Here.
That's
Remember,
it.
thank you, Gamer Stevie.
And
Looks like
then,
that is a legitimately new one, so we can count that towards
I'll wrap
the
this
goal.
up.
Thank you, Gamer Stevie.
Godwinson got a lower back
We're now at
injury
25
by
bucks to
playing
support tonight. This will
beefy
probably be the
bears
last run,
and
guys,
an
so if you
otter
support
with
the stream,
Perspic
if you
and
can, if you
Bry.
like if you like the
Godwinson is
network cast
awesome.
coverage,
Give us some time,
support
jeez.
it in some way.
I have given you plenty of
Goal's
time.
150. We're a far cry from that, so it's doubtful that we're hitting it. We did it last time when I played, but that was probably because it was the first time that I played it and people were very interested, right? All right, here we go. All right.
Will Godwinson get access back to his trust fund if he completes rehab? Godwinson is not a drug addict. That's ridiculous. First up, can you sing Material
Stream
Girl?
tonight? I can try. If I can figure out how to manually do it, sure. Gamer Stevie with the $10 from the chat.
DSP played football and hurt his back. Yeah, that was another story as well. Something about getting hurt playing football. Something about getting hurt playing. He was a bodybuilder and he was doing like 300 pound presses, and he must have fucked up his back that way as well.
Cool.
I recall a lot of different stories.
Frankie Flathead, I sleep in a bed on pillows. I don't sleep on the floor drunk like an idiot, so...
Wasted time. Godwinson is 100% a drug addict.
Okay.
Alright, guys.
So we got two Wilders.
You're out
and
of
me,
time.
the Duchess.
I let it go
Wilders
actually
are
another 2
impressive to
minutes
try,
when I
right?
said
Everything
one.
but Wilder
But
in this,
I'm
so-
done. It's late now. I'm ready to go lay
Where are
down.
we? Oh, we landed somewhere different.
And
We are somewhere
I
different
hope
right
that
now.
you... Well, I hope I could do a better show next time. How about that? It's kind of shit.
Where did they go?
We got this little slice of life into the world
Go
with
this
Phil.
way,
A
let's fight
little
the guys in here,
update
and then we'll find a,
from
Queen of
BSP
Grace.
himself. A very interesting call that really did not help his case or hurt his case against Phil. It did absolutely nothing. So I guess good job on that. At least he followed through, so I'll give him credit for that. Coward. I mean, call in. From Bry. You're out of time. Maybe I'll get Bry for the next one. I'm sure Brian has a lot to say about this. I'll put together a little bit of a crew for the next one. This was just very spur of the moment. I was like, oh, I see this video. I'm going to just do a live stream on it. I'm just going to blind react to it. But with detractor content, that is always a major risk. It could have been amazing, but it turned out shit. So, I'll see you guys next time. Appreciate you all for coming out. And join me again for a real Scuffed Express, maybe later this week. Hold on. Maybe something happened. You got a minute to join this call. They're not going to join. It's like pointless. He left. All these people left. They joined the server, then they leave. What is even the point? I'll be joined next time, maybe by the illustrious Brian, and perhaps I really don't think it's a Scuffed Express without Squire anyway. Hello, caller. Go ahead.
Brian won. Phil is a Jew. Not Phil, Steve. Kill yourself, Steve.
Okay. Wow. I waited a long time for that one. He just left. So that's the end of the show. I'll see you guys next time.